Today is Women's Equality Day, a day dedicated to the commemoration of the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, granting women the right to vote. Women in every state and from every cultural and religious group in the United States campaigned tirelessly for more than a century to achieve this right. Women like Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Mary McLeod Bethune, Fannie Williams, and Sojourner Truth.
Our state of New Jersey has its own unique history. Under our state's first constitution, created in 1776, women were given the right to vote. However, in 1807, the New Jersey Constitution was amended to allow the vote only to free white males. Women in New Jersey fought against these changes to our state constitution and contributed to women's suffrage campaign across the nation.
In 1867, Antoinette Brown Blackwell of Elizabeth, New Jersey, and Lucy Stone of Orange, New Jersey, created the New Jersey Women's Suffrage Association and held the organization's first convention. In the early 20th century, legislative hearings and referendums were held in New Jersey, first in 1912 and again in 1915, as advocates sought to win the right to vote. While the referendums were unsuccessful, they contributed to the growing national effort to secure the right for women to vote.
On June 4, 1919, Congress passed the 19th Amendment granting women the right to vote. New Jersey became the 29th state to ratify the amendment on February 9, 1920.
The amendment became fully ratified by the required number of states on August 18, 1920. Shortly thereafter, in 1921, New Jersey elected the first two women to our state assembly, Margaret Laird and Jenny Van Ness.
It wasn't until the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which expressly prohibited racial discrimination in voting, that the right to vote truly was extended to all citizens of our nation. As stated in the 15th Amendment and made clear through the Voting Rights Act, the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on the account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude.
Now, those rights are again under threat. Restrictive voting laws and efforts to disenfranchise voters are underway in many states across our country. These efforts include stricter voter ID laws, cutting voting times, restricting voter registration, and purging voter rolls, all of which would disproportionately disenfranchise Black voters and other voters of color.
That's why legislation in Congress, like the For the People's Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, is so crucial to a representative democracy. Voting is a fundamental right that all persons should have access to.
See, it doesn't really matter if you're Black, doesn't really matter if you're a woman, doesn't really matter who you are. All people should have the right to vote. Dr. Whitney Young, my predecessor, he actually spoke at the March on Washington and participated in writing the Voting Rights Act. And what he believed that every person that is in the United States must have the right to vote. Today, it's under attack. This is the year 2021, and many states are trying to restrict the right to vote and actually nullify the vote. Have you seen what's going on in Afghanistan, where people are trying to get out of a country that is going to become a dictatorship? We cannot let that happen in the US. We are a democracy, but to be a democracy, we must guarantee that everyone has the access to the ballot. So Women's Equality Day, we've shifted a little bit. We still have work to do. Social workers are committed to ensuring that right and to using our voice to ensure that all people have a voice in participatory government.